Remember that one of the advantages of data sufficiency is that every question is in the same format. So let's take a look at our first example. Is Susan older than 12 years? In order for this to be sufficient, what we need to know is definitively whether or not Susan is older than 12 years. Well, let's examine what our statements give us. Statement 1 tells us Susan is at least half as old as Dan. Well, in this scenario, do we really have any information about Susan's age? We don't. Therefore, statement 1 has to be insufficient. Now we look at statement 2. Statement 2 tells us Dan is 17 years old and Susan is 2 years younger. In this scenario, we have Dan's age. We also have Susan's age in relation to Dan's age. So in this scenario, we can absolutely find out how old Susan is. And if we know Susan's age, we can determine whether or not she's older than 12 years. We don't care how old she is. We know statement 2 by the fact that we can answer the question. Statement 2 is sufficient. What we just examined was a data sufficiency question stem in 2 statements. The 2 statements make up the data. Your job is to determine whether the data provided enough information to lead you to a definitive answer. Like in statement 1 where we didn't get the answer, but in statement 2 we were able to solve definitively for Susan's age, therefore we could solve the question. Therefore statement 2 is sufficient. Before we actually now put in our answer choice for this question, let's take a look and examine the answer choices for data sufficiency. On test day, the explanations for every answer choice will always show up. However, they will always be the same for every question. So we're going to start working on memorizing them now so that you can save time on test day. The goal is to instantly know what each answer choice is without having to read the explanation. The 5 answer choices are: answer choice A represents statement 1 is sufficient. Answer choice B represents that statement 2 is sufficient. Answer choice C represents that together they're sufficient. Answer choice D represents that each is sufficient. And answer choice E represents that neither is sufficient. We have a great mnemonic device for helping us deal with this, and actually it's a great method for dealing with your answer choices. It's 1, 2, 10. 1 represents answer choice A, 2 represents answer choice B, T represents answer choice C, E represents answer choice D, and N represents answer choice E. Let's come back to the original question now. Remember what we said. Statement 1 is insufficient, and statement 2 is sufficient. So in terms of our 1, 2, 10, what we want to do is say, okay, well, if 1 is insufficient, it can no longer be answer choice A, and it can no longer be answer choice D. You're able to eliminate 2 answer choices off the evaluation of 1 statement. Now we look at statement 2. Statement 2 is sufficient, so our answer has to be B, and it cannot be C or E. So we're ready to go now.